If you're a heat and air machine technician, salesperson, or even an entrepreneur, why is rejection so hard? And why does it matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Bell, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and business, and a fantastic day to talk about you on video number 600 on this channel. So if you haven't been around, one of the things that I like to do on every 50th or 100th video is I like to shoot a longer form piece of content and something that has a lot of depth and meaning. So today we are going to talk about rejection. But first, let's talk about closing deals, because that's what everybody wants. Let's talk about the money. Let's talk about closing deals. So for you, if you didn't know, closing a deal is the second best feeling in the world. You pick the first. You're like, Scott, why are you starting here? Well, if it's true that rejection is out there, then it's going to be the opposite of feeling good. And so here's the thing. You go on a sales call and you anticipate those feelings of success. You're like, yes, I closed a freaking deal. I'm fantastic. I'm amazing. Look at me. I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then you get to the end of the sales call and the person gives you one of the top 7 objections, or they don't ever answer you, and then they ghost you. So like, there's all those feelings I put in: the time, the energy, the effort, the money, the risk, the reputation, all the elements of rejection. I put all those in place, and now nothing, okay? So you want those feelings. I want those feelings. I want, like, yes, I'm the greatest thing ever. And then sometimes you don't feel it. So on this list, number 2, it's personal. So Bob Beverly is a friend of mine. He's been a therapist for like 40, 50 years. Brilliant man based out of New York. Bob Beverly is an amazing human being. And he says, you know, even if people say don't take it personally, you should. I'm like, dude, that's brilliant. Guy's been a therapist for 40, 50 years. You tend to listen to people who are smart like that. So once again, we go back to you put in the time, the energy, the money, the risk, the reputation, and the hope for fame, and you don't get it, okay? So you're like, hey, Scott, why does it hurt so bad to be rejected? Because then we go to number freaking 3. It is emotional, right? Most sales trainers tell you you're not going to deal with pain. You're just going to get all the pleasure of making money and closing deals. And that's not true, right? There is, wherever there's a yin, there's a yang. On one side of the coin, you have a head. On the other side, you have a tail. So here's what you need to know is there is pain involved in sales. There's pain involved in entrepreneurism. There's pain involved in opening and owning businesses. There's no such thing as 100% pure pleasure. There's not. Maybe if there's a drug that does it, there's always a downside or a risk that's caused by it too. And so, you know, I think that a lot of times people want to sell the positive, but they don't want to talk about the negative. And a lot of sales trainers just tell you to keep crushing it, bro. Go buy a car, you know, get over your hurt feelings. And to an extent, that's probably true until it doesn't work. Everybody hits a roadblock at some point, and then it really doesn't work, and then you're in trouble. And the reason I bring this up is multifold, is because, you know, the guy who tells you to just keep going out there and crushing it, there's only so far that'll take you. And like, maybe that dude is the person who was on a Wednesday on a full moon when he stubbed his toe getting out of bed, the one person who could live like that and not have issues. But the truth is I've seen some pretty super intelligent entrepreneurs climb that road of success and then hit a roadblock and just boom, crash and burn, right? What is going on in your personal life has a direct effect on your sales, and what's going on in your sales life has a direct effect on your personal life. If you have a lot of struggles going on in your personal life, there's a high probability that you can hit self-sabotage. If you have a lot of success in your life, there's a lot of probability that there's some good things going on in a relationship. And what you're going through emotionally has direct impacts. When I've struggled the most, my sales have struggled the most. When I've been at the top of the game, I'm like, I'm in the best shape. I'm drinking tons of water. I'm going to the gym daily. And my emotions are like, boom. I'm like, go ahead, say it. Reject me. I don't care. But when I'm struggling emotionally, I'm like, ooh, that one kind of hurt. That one kind of hurt. Number 4, you, my friend, have an identity just like I have an identity. You want to be seen as a closer. You want to be seen as a leader. You want to be seen as a deal maker. You want to be seen as a money maker. You want to be freaking great at what you do. So do I. Right? There's times where I'm like, I think I'm doing good, and nothing happens. There's emotional letdown for that. You want people to see you as successful, right? Sometimes our outer vision of ourselves doesn't match what other people see. Like, I've had people, like, on my worst day, people like, Scott, you know, you're successful at what you do. And then it's a good reminder, I am. But like at the very bottom, you're like, I just got rejected and I don't feel like it. I've been there. I'll probably be there again in the short future. Not that I plan on it, but like, hey, It happens. You need to match the smack talk that you're putting down in the meetings. Like, how many, I've done this, right? You close a bunch of deals, you go into a sales meeting, you jump on top of a chair, and you're like, hey, salespeople, I'm better than all of you. Right? It's like a scene from a movie until it doesn't work anymore, until you're in trouble, until you hit a sales slump and you don't close anything, and then another dude comes in, or another chick jumps on the chair and it's like, I am the closer, right? Hey, it's things that salespeople do. If you didn't know, now you do, right? And you want the money. You want the money. You want your toys, right? Toys for me are trips. I love tropical locations. I love tacos. Cars, right? Aloha shirts, love the Ren Spooner Aloha shirts, right? So like everybody's got their thing. My thing's not going to be your thing. Your thing's not going to be my thing. People are like, I want a Lambo. I'm like, they're cool cars. They just don't sound interesting to me. Hey, I want a Rolex. I only want a Rolex under certain occasions. Like it's got to be given to me as a gift. And I'm on the hunt for one of those right now. $30,000 Rolex Panda from a very special person from doing a deal with them. It's like the way that I want it because I want it to be a freaking trophy, right? And some people are like, hey, when I reach 100,000 income, I'm going to go buy this thing. Cool, do it. Hey, Scott, when I reach 250K in income, I'm going to go buy this really cool thing. Fantastic, you should do it. Hey, Scott, when I hit $1 million a year in revenue, or when I hit $1 million a year in personal income, I'm going to go do this thing. I'm like, high five, right? Think of the opposite of that, though. When you come to me and you're like, Scott, I didn't hit 100 grand, I didn't hit 250, I didn't hit 500, I didn't hit $1 million, there's like the letdown. There's like, but I came freaking close, dude. I hit 97. I hit 249. I hit 990,000, right? We should celebrate those things. We should celebrate that you got freaking close, like high five, right? We should get that out of the way. And then you want to be recruited for feeling good. You want people to recognize your skills, your talents, your capability. You want people to point and freaking yell across the room, that dude's a freaking closer. You should know him, right? You should hang out with that guy. That's the guy you want on your team. Like when you go to a company meeting, you want people to be like, that's the dude. When you go to an industry event, you want people to be like, hey, you need to hang out with that guy or that girl. Like that's what we want. We want that recognition. And when it's missing because of rejection, there's all those feelings, emotions, and everything that you've had brought up to it. This right here is why you should join HVACTechSecrets.com. I'll give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel, which means private coaching, private training, discounted coaching, and discounted training. That puts you on my email publication, okay? You don't want to lose internally. Like you have the upside. You have all the things that you want. You don't want to lose internally. I don't want to lose internally, right? Winning feels freaking good. It's a dopamine rush. It's a major dump of dopamine. Like, can I get a truckload of that dopamine, please? Yes. Can I get it in large? Yes. Can I get it in extra large? Like, that's the type of dopamine that we want. Like, you get all of the trash talk that goes along with it. When you go to the bank, this is a moment that you want to like burn into your life. You do really good on a pay period. You do really good on a month. And there's that attractive girl that works at the bank if you're a single dude, right? And you walk up and you're kind of like, and you hand them the check and it's like for $20, $30, $40, $50, $60,000 after taxes. And they look and then they look at you. There is a look and that is a freaking dopamine rush. They're like, holy crap, we've got a heavy hitter here. Like that type of feeling, man, if you could put that in a bottle, woo, that comes from closing. But the opposite of that is the rejection that nobody wants to talk about because it's painful and it hurts, right? You want to regulate your emotions through the win, but you don't. You want to stand up on a chair, you want to grab a megaphone and say, I'm the greatest thing ever. And then your success is your calling card. It's the thing that people know you for, right? Like, hey, if you've ever been through a sales slump and you've been a closer over your time, people come to you like, hey man, it's going to be okay. You've done this before, right? I had an interesting conversation with Mr. Roland Frazier, one of my favorite people on the planet. And we were having this conversation and he's like, if I lost it all, I've been successful before. I've done it before. I could do it again. And that's one of the things that I put in my mantra book. And if I've done it before, I've done it again. Like, heads up, shout out to Roland Frazier, successful dude. Love you, man. Right? We're all competitive. Number 6, right? This is a list if you didn't know. I didn't start off the beginning and say this is a list. Number 6, we're competitive and want to beat others, right? You want to see your competition like while you're driving down the road and honk at them and wave at them. Ha ha, I took that job from you. I took that job from you for more than you were going to sell it for, right? I got it for a higher price than you did. You get the meeting talk trash, right? You get to stand up in the meeting and jump on the chair, flip around on the table, walk through the halls of the building, be like, closer, I'm a closer. And then you get to end the day with your trash talk in your Slack channel, your text channel, your end of the day phone call. And if you're not doing one of those, you probably could. Number 7, you don't want to let the people down around you. You've got crews, you've got office staff, you've got support staff, you've got family members that you're like, hey, if I close this deal, we all eat. When I close this deal, we all eat. Like when I say we all, I'm talking office staff, installers, support staff, family members. Like that's the deal. If you don't close, you don't eat. You don't want to let the people down around you who rely on you. Like, hey Scott, if you don't close, we don't eat. I had one of these conversations early on in my life where a lead installer pulled me aside. He's like, hey Scott, you're not closing enough deals. I'm like, man, I'm trying. He's like, I'm not eating. Like, you want to talk about a real conversation. And it was real. Like the dude's like, I don't have any income coming in. I'm not eating. So he's like, you need to get back into the game and get your head straight. Whatever's going on in your life, you got to fix it. You got to fix it. I need to eat. Number 8, you put in the time, energy, and effort. Your reputation's on the line. I'm telling you, the opposite of this is regret. I didn't do my job. I didn't do my work. Number 9, you have a quota to meet for the business. You've got the family, right? The family quota. How much income do you need for you and your family? And it may just be you. So how much income do you need for you, right? How much do you need for the wife and the kids? How much do you need for the husband and the kids? How much do you need if you take care of a parent, an aunt, an uncle, a grandma, a grandpa, right? What do you need? What does the team need, right? The team needs you too. Like, so you're like, I got rejected. These people all freaking need me and I didn't show up, but I did show up. You just don't see my work. You don't see my outcome. And then here's the thing, income-wise, you may have bonuses on the line. You absolutely may have bonuses on the line. You know, some of the places that I worked had a quarterly bonus, and if you didn't hit all the quarters, you didn't get the yearly bonus. And, you know, that's designed that way on purpose. Couldn't get that one out. Bonuses are designed to figure out ways to not pay you. Just if you never knew that, right? A bonus, you may say, hey, look, if I hit 3 million this year in sales, I get my bonus. If I don't hit 3 million, I get nothing, right? There is an opposite to it. Just because you hit a number doesn't mean if you make that, hey, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to crush it, I'm going to make 5 million in sales this year, 5 million. But when I do, I want 50 grand. And the company owner may go, great. If you don't, you get nothing. So like when you get rejected, you're like, I'm this close to getting my bonus. I'm this close. But like the more that's on the line, the more that you can be rejected. And then number 10, you have a personal quota to meet. And you're like, this is what I want to do. This is my identity. I'm a freaking closer. I have the skills, the talents, and the capabilities to make this happen until you don't, right? And sometimes it's not your fault. Sometimes it's the market. Sometimes it is the economy. Sometimes it's external relationships. And people are like, hey, Scott, stop making excuses. I'm being real with you. I work with entrepreneurs. I work with salespeople. I work with business owners. And we get to have the real tough conversations. Right? And they're like, hey, we're not making excuses. I'm not making excuses. I'm telling you the external conditions around you sometimes cause this. And this is why you got to elevate your thinking, because if you're stuck in rejection and you're stuck and I've got all these pains, these problems, these issues, you are going to have a tough time getting through these mental blocks. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm saying, hey, when you are working the best mentally at the top of your game, you have the ability to outthink the people around you. When you're struggling, it may be tougher. So if I like, hey, there is a tough economy, which there happens. Hey, there are some tough circumstances, which happen. How do you elevate your game to get past the rejection, right? Lost a deal, but I got to get through this. I got to figure out my outcome. I got to figure out how not to fail. Charlie Munger says, tell me where I'm going to die and I just won't show up there. He has some variation of saying that. Tell me how I could fail and I just don't want to go there. Because there's a lot of pain that happens with rejection, right? On paper, everything should work out. On paper, I've got my graphs, I've got my charts, I've got my Excel files. All this stuff should work out. You got your income. Hey, I really want to make that income. I want my 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand, 400 grand, 500 grand, million, 10 million, whatever the number. I'll celebrate with you when you hit it, okay? You got your personal best. When you look backwards, right? And I look, like, I don't ever want to make less one year than I did the year before. And I definitely don't want to use that in a cycle. I definitely don't want to fall into the trap of like, I started up here and then this and then this and then this and then Nobody wants that. Everybody wants to look and go, I'm climbing the mountain of success, right? Might have a little bit up and down, might come close, might have some plateaus, but I always want to be climbing. You got your personal best, right? The reason that you go to the gym in the morning is like, I benched 2 plates. And then your goal is to, I benched 3 plates. And then if you can, I benched 4 plates, right? I remember when I hit 225, I was like, yes, I did it, right? I did it. I hit 2 plates, right? Then on the path to 3 plates, I'm like, ooh, there's some struggles, right? We all have our mental ups and downs. You want to see the zeros. Last on this list, you want to see the zeros in your bank account. You want to see that, like, hey, all the work that you put in has led to something that you could use into the future. So here's the thing. If you're struggling right now and you're facing a ton of rejection, you're facing a ton of emotional issues, remember, there are people around you who care about you, even if you don't know them. If we've never met, please take this message of encouragement, keep going, right? If we have met and you're like, Scott, I'm struggling, I'm going to tell you the same thing, keep going. We all face rejection in our life. It's what you choose and decide to do with it and how you work through it, okay? So you have the skills, the talents, the capabilities to do anything and everything you want to do in your life. Sometimes we just find it's easier to give up, all right? I've been there. I'm not going to lie. I've had my personal struggles in life, but I've had friends go, hey, Scott, come on, man, get back in the game. Get back in the game. If you're struggling right now, this is my message for you. Come on, dude. Come on, chick. Get back in the game. You got this. I've outlined all the abilities, a good majority. There might be 10 or 15 things ancillary that I missed, right? You don't have to reject me for it. You don't have to leave a bad comment in the section. I already feel bad about it. No, I don't, right? And so here's the thing. If you're struggling right now, I'm going to give you a quick game plan. 1, lots of water. 2, reduce illicit activities. If there's drugs in your life, alcohol in your life, reduce it if you can. 3, start laughing. Put yourself on a comedy regiment. Find some comedy that you love. Find some things to laugh at. 4, go to the gym. 5, spend some time with loved ones. 6, get out to nature. 7, go have a really good dinner. Whatever that may be to you. Like me, a really good dinner is a medium rare ribeye steak with lots of marbling and lots of fat, right? That's my advice to you. If you're struggling, keep going. You got this. You got 1 of 3 things to do from here. Just 1 of 3. Find the subscribe button, click on it, and every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. For real, share this with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching video number 600 on this YouTube channel. Aloha and mahalo.